What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you're talking about, aren't I?
I don't know. You don't want to go through with this, do you?
Yes, I do. I just thought that's what you thought, that it seemed a good idea at the time.
I was under extreme duress. I thought I was going to die.
Was that the only reason you suggested it?
I didn't suggest it. Did I?
You most certainly did.
Meaning that it would never have occurred to you?
Rosemary, if you really don't want to go through with this, I can call it off.
Would you?
With great embarrassment, but yes.
You'd do that for me?
If that's what you truly wanted, yes.
Oh.
Well, shall I?
I spent a fortune on this outfit. You do no such thing.
I love you, Rosemary Pryor.
I love you. I'll never forgive you for this.
Trust me, Rosie. Please be seated. Well, we're here today to celebrate the love that Rosemary and Terence have for each other and to give social recognition to their decision to accept each other totally and to share their lives. Okay? Rosemary, do you take Terence to be your lawful husband? Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep only into him?
I will.
With this ring, a token and pledge of the vows made between us, I thee wed.
I've travelled all over the world, lived through famine, flood, and fire. Then I found you.
This valley was all the life I ever wanted, until you came. Now you're my life, and we can travel on together.
You have agreed to join into lawful marriage in the presence of these witnesses, and with the giving and receiving of rings, I now declare you to be husband and wife. May you retain the strength you will need to keep the promises you've made. And may your home bring joy to your family and your friends. Oh, I think you should kiss.
Oh, filthy.
Billy, you don't say things like that in church.
Well, we're not in church.
Can't take you anywhere.
Nobody's asked you to.
Come, put it back. Come.
No, please, just put it on.
Congratulations. Thank you.
But tell us, we're dying to know, when did he pop the question?
Well, if you must know, he took advantage of me at a weak moment.
Oh, the man's incorrigible.
Took advantage of me at a weak moment. The woman's encouraging.
Oh, get out.
Who would have thought, eh?
I know. But I've been the soul of discretion for many years.
Hey, it's about time, too.
Harry.
Well, first you come back for the centenary, now for the wedding. Making a bit of a habit of it, aren't you?
Well, you know, there's only one thing I keep coming back for, Das.
Harry. Yeah. Keys to the clinic. Oh, we're going to build an empire.
Down, boy.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, don't you get any ideas?
started.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Did you get the message? It's goodbye to the medics, friends and patients of a country practice, because that was the last in the series.
HTV's the place to be weekdays at 5:30. Monday, Sue King is back with a new series of Garden Calendar.
I'll be back at 5:30 on Tuesdays with a brand new series of Can You Keep a Secret?
Live and local, Wednesdays at 5:30.
It's a pleasure, guys. Myself, Dave Mason, and the new woman in my life,
Jill Impey.
And on Fridays, a new day and time for Sports Week, the best sports magazine show in the West. A new look 5:30, followed by HTV News at 6 o'clock. Your regional hour from next week on HTV.
So it's all changed next week, and that means next, for the last time, we join John Suchet for the ITN Early Evening News.
Jacobs, cracking whatever you put on them.
QuickFit's Mega Price Drive is driving down prices on over 1 million tyres and exhausts. So drive down to QuickFit's Mega Price Drive.
You're always looking for ways to improve the appearance of your wrinkles. So Rock has added twice as much retinol to Retinol Concentré Pur All-Night Treatment. Visibly reducing fine lines in 4 weeks. Retinol Concentré Pur from Rock. We keep our promises.
Itchy, flaky scalp. T-Gel Anti-Dandruff clears even the most stubborn dandruff. T-Gel Anti-Dandruff Shampoo from Neutrogena.
Your lives depend on them, and times have changed. Britain's worst roads are diabolical. Tonight at 9 on ITV.
In tonight's HTV News, women in Bath are being warned not to walk alone at night for fear a serial rapist may strike again. And it's Bond, James Bond, on location in Wiltshire for his next big film. Join us at 6:30.
From the studios of ITN, the Early Evening News with John Suchet.
Good evening. The E. coli outbreak got worse today with 2 more children taken to hospital. That means 19 people are now affected, some with kidney problems. Another 8 have the symptoms. Some of the victims are in isolation. Health officials at the scene of the outbreak in Cumbria fear the infection could spread even further. Sue Saville reports.
This is the source of the E. coli food poisoning outbreak. Scales Farm at Brigham near Cockermouth produces milk for 300 households in the area. Farmer William Thompson won't comment on the scare. 2 environmental health orders have been served on his farm to stop production here and enable his milk to be pasteurised elsewhere. Elsie Ferguson's husband is one of the E. coli victims.
I was absolutely stunned. You just, you don't think of these things. And it's such a frightening word in this day and age when they say, you know, E. coli. But I felt much happier after seeing him yesterday.
The fear in this community is that the E. coli outbreak here could prove fatal, like one in Lanarkshire 2 years ago when 21 people died.
It's a serious outbreak. This is an infection that causes immense public concern and anxiety after the outbreak in Lanarkshire. But as it stands currently in Cumbria, I don't think we're facing something of those proportions, but we're taking it very seriously indeed.
Children at Brigham Primary School have found personal hygiene now included in their lessons and prayers.
Help me to remember to look after myself by keeping clean and remembering to wash my hands all the time. Amen. They do have a good understanding of what germs are and how they're passed on. I mean, if you don't explain properly to a child, then they might wonder about the reason for your instructions.
At all the schools in the area, the issue now is how to contain the E. coli outbreak, hoping no more cases develop. Sue Saville, ITN, Brigham in Cumbria.
Sue, what's the latest on those who are affected?
Well, this afternoon, John, we've heard that 1 more case is suspected. Of those who are still in hospital, 12 are in Whitehaven, 6 adults, 6 children. One of the adults is said to be poorly, the others are stable. 3 other children have been taken over to Newcastle Royal Infirmary, and at least one of them is having dialysis for kidney problems.
And Sue, what's being done to contain this outbreak?
Well, we saw that at the farm measures are being taken. The milk has been confiscated from there. Scientists are now looking at the process to see what has gone wrong with the pasteurisation. We saw too about the health campaign in the schools and in the whole community here. There's also concern about the incubation process because with E. coli, the bacterium, it can take 1 to 6 days to incubate. There could still be more cases and people can pass the bacterium and the infection between themselves without actually showing symptoms. So the health authority has been telling us this afternoon they're looking at all the measures they can to make sure they contain this and it doesn't happen again.
Thank you, Sue. Next on the early evening news, trade war, Madeleine Albright flies in for an emergency summit. Lord Denning, the People's Judge, dies at the age of 100. And one small step nearer to the rocket man's dream. The US Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, is due to fly into Britain tomorrow for emergency talks with Robin Cook over the banana dispute. The move is the latest twist in a row which could lead to a full-scale transatlantic trade war. Joe Andrews reports.
The banana row involves thousands of jobs in Britain and in the Caribbean and is testing the normally close relationship between Britain and America. America wants Europe to stop giving preferences to bananas produced by the former French and British colonies in the Caribbean and lift quotas on cheaper South American bananas produced by companies that pump a great deal of money into American politics.
We're talking about Caribbean islands which can't do anything else except grow bananas. We're talking about the United States where no bananas are grown in continental United States. And we're talking about islands which, if they are not allowed to grow bananas, in fact, will probably become drug havens.
The US now wants to impose big duties on Scottish cashmere, amongst other things, taking the money in advance of the international ruling on this next month.
Well, we greatly regret that the situation has come to this point. At the same time, the issue really is not about cashmere or bananas. It's about playing by the rules.
Tony Blair was on the phone to Bill Clinton last night to discuss this, and he says he'll be talking to him again shortly to try to sort it out. But it looks as though it's going to be a real test of their friendship. Joe Andrews, ITN, Westminster.
Lord Denning, the People's Judge and probably the best-known judge of the century, died today just a few weeks after his 100th birthday. The former Master of the Rolls was one of the most respected figures of his time. Tim Wilcox looks back at his life.
Brilliant yet down-to-earth, Lord Denning was a magnificent but controversial giant of the legal world.
Most of you have heard my true record.
The man who never lost his Hampshire burr was for many the champion of the underdog and one of the greatest judges of all time.
You know what Shakespeare said? Oh, it's great to have a giant's strength, but it's tyrannous to use it like a giant.
He was a judge at the cutting edge of judicial inventiveness. Therefore, he was bound to be controversial. But when you look at the balance sheet of Lord Denning, my goodness me, the credit side is much higher than the debit side.
Born in 1899, Lord Denning was the son of a draper. After village, then grammar school, he took a triple first at Oxford.
I wanted to get on. Not interested in politics, but I could see that law, rather than commerce, law was a field in which I could get high. I wouldn't say how high.
He first made headlines in 1963 when he led the Profumo inquiry over the War Secretary's affair with Christine Keeler. As Master of the Rolls, he led from the front and disliked leaving things to Parliament. His unique personality and judgments made him one of the best-known judges of the 20th century. Tim Wilcox, ITN.
8 families accidentally named as police informants in the report into Stephen Lawrence's murder have asked to be rehoused. In the London area where Stephen died, one family has already moved out because they fear reprisals. 5 others are in the process of switching houses. 2 more have asked to be moved. A pensioner today told the Old Bailey how he saw 3 Jews shot dead by a policeman in Belarus who then pushed them into an open grave. The prosecution claimed that policeman was the former British Rail ticket collector Antony Savoniuk. Shuli Ghosh reports.
Grey-haired Alexandre Baglai, seen here in the middle, says he was just 12 years old when he saw the defendant kill 3 Jews during the Second World War. He was living in Demarchevo, a town under German occupation, where almost the entire Jewish population was wiped out by the Nazis. To this day, a memorial stands at the site of the massacre. 77-year-old Savoniuk was a local policeman at the time. He's accused of leading search and kill operations to eliminate Jews who escaped. In court, speaking through an interpreter, Alexandre Baglai told how, as a child, he and another boy were caught scavenging for clothes in the Jewish ghetto. Mr. Baglai said he and his friend had been marched by Savoniuk, whom he knew as Andrusha, to a site where a group of 3 Jews were standing by a freshly dug pit. Savoniuk had ordered the Jews to undress and then shot them one by one. The 2 boys were made to fill in the grave. Challenged about the reliability of his memory, Mr. Baglai said he remembered beautifully. Shuli Ghosh, ITN, at the Old Bailey.
Families of the 20 cable car victims killed in Italy by the American Air Force jet today reacted with anger and bewilderment to news that the American pilot was cleared. The plane, flown by US Marine Richard Ashby, sliced through cables in the Italian resort of Cavallese last year. James Mates reports.
The Italian Prime Minister marched into the White House this morning to make President Clinton fully aware of his views on this case. Public opinion in Italy is outraged. The families of the dead uncomprehending.
I cannot understand that the man who killed 20 people, and among which were my dad and my sister Mindy, that this man is not guilty.
I buried my husband a year ago. Today it was his 2nd funeral.
Her husband was among the 20 killed instantly when their ski gondola crashed into an Italian mountainside just over a year ago. The cable had been cut by a US Marine aircraft flying too fast and too low. But the court-martial was told the pilot's altimeter had malfunctioned and the ski lift had not been marked on the map he was issued by the US authorities. For the captain, Richard Ashby, that was enough to convince a jury of fellow Marines that it was a tragic accident and not an act of deliberate recklessness.
It's been a tragedy for all involved, and my heart and my thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the victims of this tragedy.
Ashby could still be jailed for having obstructed justice during the investigation, but that would do little to assuage the anger in Europe. In Italy, there are renewed demands for the closure of US bases. Officials here are worried about damage that may be done to NATO. James Mates, ITN, in the United States.
Tony Blair warned today that the Scottish elections should be fought on policy and not national identity. He was speaking in Glasgow, where he said devolution was right for Scotland and right for Britain too. Here's our Scotland political correspondent, Harry Smith.
It was a stout defence of the Union, delivered to a special party conference in Glasgow and designed to send party activists out in fighting mood for the fierce battle that's developing with the nationalists. The Prime Minister listed a string of policy initiatives which he said had been good for Britain and good for Scotland, and in those he included devolution.
Our opponent's message is one that builds barriers instead of bridges. It's not a politics that can elevate. It's a politics that only divides and diminishes. So in these coming weeks of this campaign, what I say to you, be proud, be confident that we are on the right course for Scotland and for the whole of our country.
Both the SNP and Labour chose today to launch new policies on education. The Nationalists, though, poured scorn on the Prime Minister's contribution to the debate.
I'm tempted to say that the SNP should be subsidising Tony Blair's plane fares to Scotland because he's one of our most valuable assets. It's quite clear that most people in Scotland think he should keep his nose out of the Scottish elections.
But the Prime Minister's speech will help answer the critics who say Labour's campaign has been too negative, too dependent on bashing the Nats. And his supporters will point to the latest opinion poll, which shows Labour marginally ahead. Harry Smith, ITN, Glasgow.
Now, you might think Britain has been left behind in the space race, but one man is determined to catch up. Steve Bennett today took one small step, but a giant leap towards putting a person into space. Andrew Simmons reports.
Steve Bennett was once a technician working in a toothpaste factory, but now he's a rocket man.
Everything's okay.
And here's his latest creation, Tempest, about to be launched from the Lancashire coast. The rocket soared to 3,000 feet, all according to plan.
We've done it. We're another few inches closer to making our dream a reality.
That dream took a bad knock at the last attempt. Just less than a year ago on Dartmoor, everything went wrong. But this time, Mr. Bennett's invention came back down to Earth safely. The rocket man and his family believe that one day they'll put the first person into space in a homemade rocket. Andrew Simmons, ITN.
In motor racing, world champion Mika Hakkinen kicked off the start of the Formula One season by walking away from a 100-mile-an-hour crash in Australia. During a practice session in Melbourne, he spun off the track and smashed into a wall. He emerged unscathed. 4 years ago, he nearly died in a crash in Adelaide. A reminder now of the changes to ITV News from Monday. I'll be joining Julia Somerville for the new look ITV lunchtime news at 12:30. Trevor MacDonald will present the new ITV half-hour evening news at 6:30. And Dermot Murnahan will be bringing you the new ITV nightly news at 11 o'clock. And on the final news at 10 tonight, a look back at the programme's finest moments from Norman Rees.
Always the search for exclusive coverage. News at 10 at Dawson's Field when Palestinian terrorists blew up 3 hijacked planes. Michael Brunson's first interview with Maggie Thatcher after her resignation. Trevor MacDonald meeting Saddam Hussein.
A deliberate and sustained assault on the old city.
Paul Davis, the only reporter at the siege of Dubrovnik.
On tonight's last news at 10, and that brings us to the end of the last early evening news. I've been in this seat for the last 7 years, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege bringing you the news at 5:40. I hope you'll join us all at our new times with our ITN bulletins on ITV next week. But for now, from me, from programme editor Phil Moger, and the entire early evening news team, for the last time on the early evening news. Bye-bye.
Hello, good evening. Well, it's been a cold day everywhere, with eastern England bearing the brunt of a thoroughly wet day. Things should slowly improve there. But for all of us for the weekend, it's a cold one with some wintry showers around. The good news is we are expecting milder weather to push in from the southwest early next week, along with some cloud and rain. Now, our Met Weather satellite sequence shows clouds spiraling around the centre of the low in the North Sea, feeding showers down from the north. Thicker areas of cloud there on the eastern side of the country, threatening rain, sleet and snow tonight as well as Saturday night. So as far as tonight's actual weather goes, we continue with scattered wintry showers around coastal areas, and then we've an area of sleet and snow pushing into Scotland and the north of England, down into the Midlands as well, with some small accumulation on those higher routes to watch out for. Some breaks in the cloud further south and west, and that indicates dipping temperatures, some frost and icy patches on those roads to watch out for tomorrow morning. So we go into tomorrow for the northeast as a grey start to the day, then brighter weather pushing down from the north. Basically, we're all in the same boat tomorrow. It's very much a case of a mixture of wintry showers as well as some sunny intervals. And those wintry showers not really amounting to anything very much at all. Now, temperatures are stuck at around the 7 mark or 45 tomorrow, feeling better in the east with lighter winds, but the winds becoming, well, touching gale force later on in the north there. A quick look at Sunday, and for Scotland and the north of England, dull, wet and windy all day, brighter weather further south, and then with the first sign of that milder weather pushing into the southwest later on. And that's all from me. Join me later if you can, after the news at 10. Here's the weather summary.
Power Gen. Power, whatever the weather.
In tonight's HTV News, women in Bath are being warned not to walk alone at night for fear a serial rapist may strike again. And, yes, it's Bond, James Bond, on location in Wiltshire for the next big blockbuster. The details on those stories and the rest of your day's news here on HTV at 6:30.
There's an early kick-off for West Match Plus. We're at the Memorial Stadium on Saturday for Bristol Rovers match with York City. We'll also have the best of Swindon Town's home match with promotion hopefuls Bolton Wanderers. Yes, it's Saturday tea time for West Match Plus. We're on air just after 5:15 this Saturday.
The race for Wembley is on. The chance of silverware and a place in Europe are at stake. Newcastle versus Everton. Will the Magpies be in for a treat, or will the Toffees be sticky opponents? The AXA FA Cup, live Sunday 3:45 ITV.
The Ford feature models combine our most advanced technology and the most desirable equipment with affordable prices, which means you can now experience the Ford car for £7,495 and the Fiesta Finesse for £7,995, both with 0% finance and 1 year's free insurance. Change your expectations forever with the new T-registration Ford feature models.
Oh, you! Give us those keys. Thank you. I can't believe it. It's mine and I did it all by myself. Well, almost. I couldn't have done it without Auto Trader.
You see, it's been reorganised into alphabetical order, so it's much easier now to choose exactly the car you want. There's also a really useful buyer's guide. So even if you're buying for the first time, they tell you all you need to know.
Of course, you could do your own thing.
Get the new look Auto Trader before you buy your next car.
Crime Stoppers, in association with Darlow's estate agents.
Can you help the police catch whoever was responsible for attacking a 49-year-old woman here at St Jude's in Bristol? The victim had been walking through St Matthias Park at around 7 in the evening on Wednesday the 30th of December when she was heckled by a group of men. The next thing she remembers is waking up near to the gates on River Street with serious head injuries. 2 rings, including her plain gold wedding band, had been taken, along with a small amount of cash. Her skull had been fractured in the attack and she was severely bruised, spending the new year in hospital. Police are especially keen to talk to a scruffy white man in his late 20s, wearing a red or orange thigh-length jacket. He was around 6 foot tall and of thin build, with a thin face and brushed back dark hair. Any information, no matter how small, could help. The Crime Stoppers number is open now on 0800 555 111.
Crime Stoppers, in association with Darlow's estate agents. United in the fight against crime.
Here's a breakfast pack that
you. CITV Sunday morning, wouldn't wanna miss it, would ya? Get out of bed. CITV Sunday fun for all the nation. CITV, you know it is your favorite station. Get out of bed.
A chief inspector's daughter wishes dad to go motorbike racing for a day. One mum's bedroom gets a new look.
Oh, isn't she lovely?
Whilst another mum's dream of skiing comes true. And a grandma gets a makeover. Surprises galore in a new series of Can You Keep a Secret? Tuesday at 5:30, followed by HTV News at the new time of 6.
Now, in Summer Bay, the teachers drink tea, but I'm not too sure about the pupils.
Let's face it, straight is boring. That's why I love Le Grand Curl. L'Oreal's first mascara ever to curl your lashes all by itself. Really, it's new. Amazing technology that actually curls for a longer look. It's an eye-opener. So for me, it's bye-bye eyelash curler. And hello, new L'Oreal Le Grand Curl. Because you're worth it.
At the moment, we're producing about 45 million metre cubed of gas a day, which equates to about 20% of the country's use. The gas comes out of its own free will, but we actually do suck it out as well with the gas compression to get the high flow rates.
Not personally, obviously.
No, not personally, no. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. It makes me feel that we're out here doing a worthwhile job. Yeah, it's satisfying.
If you break another country's laws, you answer for those crimes abroad. You'll be treated as a criminal, not a tourist. The British consul will help you, and if you're jailed, we'll ensure that you're treated fairly.
Okay.
We can help you find an English-speaking lawyer. We can contact your family. We can pass on money from home. We can visit you in prison, but we can't get you out. So stay legal, or you could find yourself having the holiday of a lifetime. We'd just like you to think before calling out your doctor. It'll give us more time to treat someone who may need our help. Just that little bit more.
Home and Away, weekdays at 5 on HTV.
Hello, in tonight's HTV News, a fresh warning to women in Bath not to walk alone at night over fears a serial rapist there may strike again. Join us after the latest weather.
For the triumphant, the thrill of victory. For the vanquished, the agony of defeat. Two antagonists, a long battle over. That was then, and this is now.
Formula One begins its new season with new teams, new hopes and old rivalries. Hakkinen and Schumacher resume their battle, while Coulthard and Hill head the British Charge for glory. Qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix starts tonight on ITV.
We attended Swindon 12 to 18 project for 6 years. STEP is a registered charity offering support to young people through a wide range of activities and discussion groups.
We need more adult volunteers to help run our groups.
STEP can give you all the training you need. If you're interested, please call us on Swindon 614487.
What's on the other side?
Let's look over.
Eric.
Tonight, a hen not to be missed. I'm alive and I'm lonely.
You know how I feel about you.
A Coronation Street confrontation. At 8, a date.
If we're going to a swanky restaurant, I better do your ears. I'll go and get the clippers. You pop your head over the sink.
Days like these.
Get so much choice with 3 channels.
It'll never get better than this.
With Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at 8:30 tonight.
HTV weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows and Conservatories. The clear choice in any weather.
Hello, well we should at least got rid of that constant rain from the beginning of this week, but now it's turned so much colder thanks to the northwesterly wind. At least there have been some brighter moments about amongst all that cloud across the UK. There may still be the odd sleet and snow shower for Exmoor tonight, but most places will be dry as skies clear, so temperatures will dip below freezing, in a few places giving a frost and some icy patches. With the weekend just around the corner, that low still means some rain for Saturday, but things should cheer up in time for Sunday. The high way out in the Atlantic heading our way and bringing with it a better day. So it should be a dry and frosty start to Saturday morning with some good sunny spells around, but as I just mentioned, it'll turn cloudier across the north with some showers of sleet pushing in and some snow over the hills. You can expect more rain and sleet, especially across the north in the afternoon. On the other hand, it's the south which gets the best of any sunshine, but even here it'll feel nippy in the northwesterly wind. Temperatures generally around 7 Celsius. Just time for a look at the tide times. Around 9 AM on the left and about 9:30 in the evening there on the right there. So the weather should improve slightly on Sunday. There may be an overnight frost in places, and then much of the morning should be dry with sunny periods. During the afternoon, cloud will be on the increase, but it should stay mainly dry, just the odd spot of rain across Exmoor with mainly light winds. Well, we're not sure how long this will last because at the moment next week is looking unsettled again. Low pressure gives us a milder and breezier start with warmer southerly winds, but later on those winds may turn around to the east, so it'll get colder again. Watch this space for more details. Well, that's your HTV West weather forecast. Good evening and have a great weekend.
The HTV 7-day weather line, 09064 747 100. HTV weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows and Conservatories.
City in fear. As the police hunt continues, the people living with the rapist in their midst.
They think they're perfectly safe walking home on their own, and the reality is you're not.
Hostage families anger over competition offering trips to see the gorillas in Uganda.
And my name is Bond, 007 on location here in the West. Hello, good evening. There's a fresh warning today that women in Bath shouldn't walk alone at night for fear that a serial rapist may strike again. Police hunting the man who last attacked 5 weeks ago have so far failed to make a significant breakthrough.
They've made a new appeal for the writer of an anonymous letter to come forward. They say the woman who was attacked 5 months ago may have vital clues. Meanwhile, women in the city have been speaking of their fear.
This is the scene of the first of the recent attacks, when a man jumped into a woman's car which is being driven down Forrester Lane here in Bathwick. There's been a reconstruction, house-to-house inquiries and letters sent to local residents, who are still living in fear of the possibility of another attack.
People are worried about it, that there may be another attack at some time, so they keep their doors closed and so on. People are just, have a feeling of unease.
In the second incident, the man kidnapped a woman in her silver Mini in Woodcombe and drove her to an isolated spot in Monkton Combe and raped her. This photo fit of the attacker has been put up around the city in the hope that someone who knows him will come forward. The attacks are thought to be linked with up to 8 other incidents stretching back over a decade. The local daily paper has even put up a reward in a bid to catch the sex attacker, but there are still no real clues.
But it is scary that it can go to ground, disappear without trace, and of course the fear in everybody's mind is, well, when is it going to crop up again?
Students at Bath University have been given free rape alarms and warned to be on their guard.
The image of Bath that we have is that it's a small, quaint little village, city that doesn't really have a safety issue, but this has finally brought it home to people, especially students. They come out of nightclubs 2 o'clock in the morning, walk home, they think they're perfectly safe walking home on their own, and the reality is you're not. You have to take precautions, you have to carry an alarm, you have to go home with a friend or get a taxi or find another way other than walking on your own.
It's been 5 weeks since this latest series of attacks began, and over 1,000 people have come forward with information. But police still want to talk to the anonymous letter writer, who they believe could lead them to the city's most wanted man. Joanna Cross, HTV News, Bath.
The phone company BT has come under fire tonight after a mail shot to homes here in the west, offering the chance to win a trip to watch gorillas in Uganda. 4 Britons were killed by rebels there earlier this week, and the family of a Gloucestershire man kidnapped in the country last summer has also condemned the competition.
Michael King from Hardwick near Gloucester was staggered when he saw what BT's offering former customers to switch back to their service. Among a list of possible adventure holidays described as a once-in-a-lifetime chance of a dream come true, a gorilla-watching trip to Uganda.
Just absolutely gobsmacked. My thoughts immediately went out to the families of people who, have lost relatives, and also, this guy's missing out there as well. So if that happened to land on one of their doormats, you can imagine what the repercussions from that would be horrific.
Which is just how relatives of Doug Keir from the Forest of Dean feel. He went missing on just such a trip 7 months ago. With that and the recent massacre, his family say BT's offer is in very poor taste.
The fact that this mail shot appears to have been delivered this morning, I find absolutely horrendous. I mean, surely there must have been a way that BT could have stopped this mail shot going out. I mean, I find it's so insensitive to the people who sort of just lost loved ones and to us as well.
BT aren't sending people to Uganda now, but they're not promising to stop the mail shot right away either. They say they're currently reviewing the situation as to whether to continue with this promotion. They don't want to offend anyone following recent developments in Uganda, but unfortunately it's already been mailed to thousands of customers, and so there's little they can do about it at the moment.
With all the problems they've had with these rebels, it just seems irresponsible to even offer to take someone to a place like that. It just seems beyond belief.
Michael King has no plans to switch back to BT for his phone services.
Still to come on HTV News. One last time, or is it? Explorer Hempelman Adams sets off on his latest solo trip.
And Sam Mason asks, has the bottom fallen out of the jeans market?
But first, the man accused of murdering Bristol pub manager John Fitzgerald has appeared at the city's Crown Court. 49-year-old Mr Fitzgerald was found dead at the Richmond Spring pub in the Clifton district last year. Michael Eisinger, who's 25 and from Germany, was remanded in custody for a date to be fixed. A massive crater has appeared near a village in the Forest of Dean. The 40-foot hole has swallowed trees and hundreds of tons of earth. The area around Mount Pleasant is honeycombed with mine shafts. It's thought that one of them might have collapsed, causing the ground above to subside. The Forestry Commission has put up fences while an investigation is carried out. The Nationwide Building Society, which has its headquarters in Swindon, has threatened to stop recruiting locally unless it's allowed more car parking spaces by the Town Council. The society, which employs nearly 3,000 people at the site, wants to create 500 more spaces. It says if planning permission is refused by the Swindon Authority, it'll take on new staff at offices in Northampton instead. Army headquarters at Bulford in Wiltshire are to close as part of defence cutbacks. The command base was only opened 4 years ago. The government is reorganising the army into 3 administrative areas in a bid to save £8 million a year. The move will mean some job losses at Bulford.
Meanwhile, up to 50 workers at a factory in West Somerset tonight facing uncertainty over their jobs. Union officials are in urgent discussions with management at the Wandsborough Mill in Watchet. The firm's the town's largest employer.
A bleak day for Watchet, with the threat of up to 50 job losses at the town's biggest employer. The news follows a review of staffing by managers at Wandsborough Paper Mill. Local people say that they're shocked at the announcement.
Sorry, we had a bit of a problem with that. We'll see if we can come back to it later on. West explorer David Hempelman-Adams will catch a flight in the next hour to the Arctic on his last solo journey, this time to go to the geomagnetic North Pole. The adventurer from Box near Bath has vowed to spend more time at home with his family after this expedition. But do they believe him?
You know spring has arrived for certain when David Hempelman-Adams packs his bags for somewhere cold. This time a 20-day solo trek to the geomagnetic North Pole.
No one's ever been there before, and I thought, well, it would be nice for Britain to get there before the Norwegians do it. And I think this is going to be my last solo trip. And the great thing about this trip is 2 or 3 different skills involved. There's mountain climbing, going across Arctic Ocean where you need a different skill, going across an ice cap which is very Antarctic because you've got crevasses and very high winds. So you've got all these multitude of skills in one trip. This is my last solo trip, but I think it'll push me, and you know, I don't know if it can be done.
The explorer from Box has a habit of promising this will be the final trip, as his long-suffering wife knows too well.
Well, I think David actually said that when he came back from the South Pole, but none of us really believed it, so we're not terribly surprised. But if he says it's the last one, then maybe it is going to be.
It's better to live one day as a tiger than live your whole life as a lamb. And I've always felt that live life to your full, be whatever it is. If you want to do something, don't ever say you can't do it. Just go out and try it. And it doesn't matter if you fail. There's no problem with failing, as long as you can put your hand on your heart and say, I did my best.
Wise words indeed. And staying with adventurers from our region, both of the Bristol-made Cameron balloons battling to fly non-stop around the world are still on target tonight. Andy Elson's cable and wireless balloon, which took off first, is near Taiwan. Earlier today, it was the centre of attention when a passing jumbo jet requested a flyby so that people could take photos. Their rival, the Breitling 3 balloon, is some way behind and is currently over Egypt, but it does now have permission to fly over China.
Photographs taken by the Luftwaffe have been produced by a South Gloucestershire councillor in his battle to force a German couple to hand over land for a village green. Roger Northam says Doctors Thomas and Isabel Gurka shouldn't have fenced off the quarter-acre plot at their home in Hambrook.
This is occupied territory, a small plot of land that should remain forever English. At least that's according to the local district councillor. Roger Northam's latest salvo in the Battle of Hambrook are aerial photographs taken by, ironically, the Luftwaffe. They show the land wasn't enclosed 50 years ago. If it can be proved the plot was used for recreation for the last 20 years, councillors can designate it a village green, even if someone else owns it. But behind their newly erected Siegfried line, the first was cut down by vandals, Dr. Isabella Gurka and her husband are stoutly defending their place in the sun. She says the land is on the deeds of the property they bought 3 years ago.
This is my piece of land, and I believe it is my piece of land. And on the other hand, I think people who are deciding about village green will realize that it has never been used as a village green.
And you think, really, they just want to park cars on it?
I really think people do car park on it, and if I did take the fence off, the next day cars will be parked here.
The councillor trying to oust the Gurkhas from their stronghold was lying low in his bunker this afternoon. Roger Northam's frantic hand signals could have been in code, but what it boiled down to is he didn't want to talk. Neighbours who stopped to back the Gurkhas said the land had never been used for recreation and had only ever been a car park, and that doesn't qualify. Photographs taken in recent years show cars parked on the land. What's more, there's a full-size village green a quarter of a mile up the road. The Gurkhas are adamant they haven't annexed this territory, and they're confident once councillors pay a site visit in June, they'll agree, and the Battle of the Bulge will be over. David Woodland, HTV News, Hambrook.
Amazing story. It's a little after 20 to 7 this Friday evening. Our main story here on HTV. Women in Bath have been speaking of their fear as the hunt for the city's rapist continues.
And still to come on HTV News, James Bond, alias Pierce Brosnan, on a not quite so top-secret mission to Wiltshire.
It's our most sensational travel offer ever. With the Daily Mail, you can fly half price on British Airways to over 150 worldwide destinations. And what's more, up to 5 people can travel half price on every booking. America. Throughout Europe. The Far East. Even Western Australia. It's truly worldwide. Yes, up to 5 people for half price on British Airways for every reader. Taxes excluded. Starting in tomorrow's Daily Mail and continuing in the Mail on Sunday.
In the Financial Advisor Service Awards, it was Cheltenham and Gloucester who, in the face of stiff competition, snatched yet another 5-star award for customer service. To enjoy Cheltenham and Gloucester's first-class mortgage service, sail into any branch of Cheltenham and Gloucester, Lloyds Bank or TSB. Cheltenham and Gloucester, looking after your best interests.
Hello again, welcome back. We can now return to our story about job cuts at the Wandsborough Mill in Watchet.
A bleak day for Watchet, with the threat of up to 50 job losses at the town's biggest employer. The news follows a review of staffing by managers at Wandsborough Paper Mill. Local people say that they're shocked at the announcement.
The mill's been there a long time, and there's a lot of people who depend on their work there to, keep their families here.
Poor Watchet is not looking very good at the moment.
If the mill went, then we saw that'd be it really for Watchet.
No one from the mill was available to talk to us on camera, but in a statement they revealed that consultations had begun with unions. They say it's regrettable that this has happened, but our first duty remains to our employees. There will be no further comment until discussions have finished. The union said Wandsborough is not alone in these difficult trading times. The union are holding meetings with the company next week and will report back next Friday. The company says the action has been made necessary by a change in the marketplace and the intense pressure that the paper industry is under. Voluntary redundancies and job training will be considered before compulsory redundancies. Tim Morris, HTV News, Watchet.
Now, it's the past that many people in Bristol would prefer to forget, but there's no denying the part that the slave trade played in the development of the port.
Now the city is staging its first major exhibition, but as well as confronting a few difficult truths, it also aims to lay some myths to rest. Looking an uncomfortable past in the eye. Exhibits recording the shame and misery of the slave trade in Bristol, which made fortunes for many from the living hell of their captives. The trade officially started here in 1698. At its height, Bristol ships transported 8,000 of the 20,000 slaves sent to the Caribbean and North America a year. It's the first display of its kind at the museum.
It's an uncomfortable subject. It's a subject that hasn't really been revealed and fully talked about and fully aired before, and it was time to do it.
The Festival of the Sea in the city's harbour recalled the maritime past of Bristol. It was here the goods arrived from the West Indies, produced by slaves. A shipping triangle operated between Bristol, Africa and the Caribbean, trading goods for people. One of the city's benefactors, Edward Colston, was a member of the company which monopolised the trade. The prosperity it brought Bristol is reflected in the wealth of the buildings all over the city. Community groups have collaborated to put on the exhibition.
We're talking about centuries of deprivation, losing their name, their culture, their history, the destruction of the civilizations. I learned a lot, and I think a lot of people who actually will come to the exhibition will actually learn a lot as well.
In the early 18th century, Bristol was for a time the major British slave port. Historians believe we're still dealing with the legacy.
There's a shame about having been a slave. I think many black people, particularly the older generation, were like Holocaust survivors. They were very guilty about having survived. What did their ancestors have to do to survive, especially those of mixed blood? And so I think there's been a whole legacy that really needs to be unpacked, and we all have to face the present honestly by looking at the past honestly.
There will be a lot of things which a lot of people will find very hard to deal with, but how else can you deal with it and go and move on?
Bristol facing up to its past. More of your news from around your region now. And police are hunting 2 men after an armed robbery on a village shop in which sawn-off shotguns were brandished. The raid took place at the Great Bedouin post office near Marlborough. The robbers forced staff to lie down on the floor. Police say the men then escaped with a large amount of cash in a getaway car. They say staff were lucky to escape uninjured. A woman whose 2-year-old daughter was found dead at a holiday cottage in the Cotswolds has admitted killing her. The body of Olivia Perkins was found in the bedroom of the cottage in Minchinhampton in March of last year. Jeanette Firmin, who's 42 and from Solihull, pleaded guilty to manslaughter at Bristol Crown Court. The case has been adjourned for a month for reports to be drawn up before sentence.
Now, fashion is a fickle thing, and keeping up with it can be a full-time, not to mention expensive job. But while styles may come and go for the last few decades, there's been one item of clothing that's weathered the storm.
What are we talking about? Jeans, of course. They never seem to go out of fashion, do they? Until that is now. Because some fashion commentators are saying the bottom has fallen out of the jean market. Well, we sent who else but Sammy Mason to find out if it indeed is true.
Skin-tight, button-fly, stone-washed, flared, baggy or drain pipes, at some stage in our lives most of us have bought a pair of jeans. But now factories are closing down and workforces are being cut in half, and it seems the garment that Bowie sang about is on its way out. Or is it?
How many pairs of jeans have you got?
16 pairs of jeans.
16 pairs of jeans?
All different colours. I got a snakeskin pair, orange, blue, brown.
Ouch. And their trousers look more smart.
Combat trousers. You're joking, aren't you?
Are you in the army?
No.
Would you like to be?
Hipsters.
You like hipsters?
Hang on, look, you've got them on your hips. They're only just on.
I know.
Turn around, turn around, turn around. Look! They're only just covering his bum. And where's your bum feet? When their bum comes sort of down here somewhere and they're flapping around down there. What about them? I think they need to, like, pull them up a bit.
What kind of jeans that you see on ladies?
Oh, it depends, really. Nice and tight, so you can see their butts. Everyone still wears jeans are in, look. Check them out.
You just bought some new jeans?
I have, yeah.
Let's have a look.
Would you wear jeans on a date?
On a date? No.
No? Would you wear jeans to take your mother out?
No.
You do think that jeans are on the way out and combats are on the way in?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, maybe combat's at its day as well. Maybe something like a drawstring trouser seems to be going quite well. Seems the way forward at the moment. I think people want something a bit different, a bit baggier, a bit looser, and that's definitely a look for this season, I think. Maybe even with the turn-up coming down from London way, and definitely that's what people are going for in Bristol at the moment.
So whether you combat the latest fashion, one thing's for sure, the bottom hasn't dropped out of the jeans market. Sam Mason on a mission for HTV News.
Oh, thank heavens for that. I couldn't get rid of my jeans. And now with a look forward to this weekend's football and the other sporting news, here's Phil.
Colin Jackson, who's based at Bath University, is celebrating today after finally winning a gold medal at the World Indoor Athletics Championships in Japan. And Jackson, who already has 3 silver medals from previous championships, took the title in a record time. But be warned, blink and you'll miss it. The race lasted a little over 7 seconds, so we're able to show you the whole of it right now. Short, but very sweet. Bristol Rovers captain Andy Tilson has been told that he can leave the club on a free transfer, and Rovers are at home to York tomorrow. There's no game for Bristol City in Division 1, but Swindon are in action. They entertain Bolton at the county ground.
Andy Tilson made a scoring return to action last month when he headed in the only goal in Rovers' 1-0 win against Luton. The centre-half was a club record signing £370,000 when he joined from Queen's Park Rangers in 1992. The highlight was captaining the side at Wembley in Division 2 playoff final in 1995.
And he wants another year after next season, which he's already contracted to, and I can tell him now that I'm not going to be able to give him that. I feel he would be better off getting a longer contract with someone else, which I'm sure he will do right now. Because of his service to us, I wouldn't dare ask a fee for him.
Fullback David Pritchard is also to have his name circulated with the transfer deadline looming as Holloway looks to trim his playing staff. Tomorrow, Rovers entertain a York side that beat them 1-0 earlier in the season, and whilst Rovers still harbour outside hopes of a playoff place, a record of just one win in their last 5 league games means that the relegation zone isn't that far away either.
It's not where you are now, it's where you are at the end of May that counts, because to me you're wasting your time. That, you know, even if you're in the playoff situations, it doesn't guarantee being there now. You have to play every single game as if it's your last.
It's been a case of Jekyll and Hyde for Swindon fans during the last week. Last Friday's superb victory at Watford was followed up by this 3-2 defeat at home to Tranmere earlier this week. Defender Gareth Davis is set for his debut at home against promotion-chasing Bolton tomorrow. Matthew Pick, HTV News.
There'll be highlights of both those matches in a special West Match Plus. That's tomorrow at 5:15. Now that's 24 hours earlier than usual, Saturday instead of Sunday. In rugby, there's no league action for our top teams this weekend, but in the Cheltenham and Gloucester Cup on Sunday, Bath travel to Newcastle and Gloucester go to Waterloo. Let's hope they don't meet their Waterloo there. That's it from the sport.
Thank you, sir. Champion roundup there now. To a Wiltshire a Wiltshire factory, can't read, was shaken but not stirred today when it became, believe it or not, a film location.
Yes, the futuristic-looking Motorola building in Swindon was recruited for the next and 19th James Bond epic. Staff at the factory even got walk-on parts.
Exciting stuff. Some of the world's top stars are there, including Mr. 007 himself, Pierce Brosnan.
After making an impressive and much-awaited entrance into the grounds of Swindon's Motorola factory, for Pierce Brosnan today it was more a case of tripping in the Wiltshire mud than over his lines. He didn't have any in this particular scene, but despite the cold and wet conditions, he's glad to be back in his third film playing super spy James Bond.
Very happy, yeah, it's great. It's like putting on a pair of old shoes, you know. There isn't the kind of stress and strain that there was on the first one. We've got a great director, Michael Afton here. Good story. Great cast.
The Motorola factory was chosen as a location by a Bond film executive who was driving past. He was impressed by its distinctive appearance. But in the finished item, thanks to the magic of film, it'll be Turkey in a temperature of 80 degrees rather than Swindon in the freezing cold.
It looks like an attack, a terrorist attack on what would be a pipeline pumping station in that area of the world. And Ron is meeting M, who's gone into the field. Dame Judy then playing M again.
For some lucky Motorola workers, it was the chance of a lifetime to mingle with the stars and to appear as extras in a James Bond film without hardly even having to leave the office.
Had my picture taken and they sent it off, and I was one of the lucky ones to be selected.
And what's it been like?
Oh, it's been great, I've been loving it, you know. I just didn't expect to be in a Bond movie ever, you know. And it's, you know, just great.
I mean, you have a chance for a life, you don't have the chance every day. So yeah, it's a good experience. Yeah, quite exciting.
As ever, this latest Bond film, The World Is Not Enough, is all action with the usual high body count. It's being filmed at locations including Turkey, Azerbaijan, France and Spain. In the true gentlemanly tradition of 007, Pierce Brosnan today remained diplomatic about his latest location.
Well, Swindon's a beautiful place, actually. I've never been here before. Yes? There you go. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Another star who attracted big media interest today was French actress Sophie Marceau.
Yeah, I belong to the Roger Moore generation. Of course, I know the Conrad's generation, and I know the I think Chris is I don't know, kind of a gentle person and a very handsome man, and he seems to be a gentleman.
The World Is Not Enough opens on November the 19th. It's not yet been announced whether the world premiere will be in Swindon. Paul Crowe, HTV News, Swindon.
Well, we know more. We'll, of course, keep you posted. A reminder of the main stories making the news here again now in the West with the help of Carolyn.
Women in Bath are being warned not to walk alone at night over fears that a serial rapist may strike again. It comes as police hunting the man make a fresh appeal for a past attack victim to come forward. The family of a Gloucestershire man held hostage in Uganda has attacked BT for offering people the chance to win a gorilla-watching trip there. And James Bond, alias Pierce Brosnan, has been filming part of his latest movie at a factory in Swindon today. The Motorola plant was chosen because of its futuristic appearance. And those are the headlines.
Our weather picture comes from Louisa Warwick, who's 6 and goes to Butcombe Clifton College in Bristol. Tomorrow's weather outlook is bright, spells and scattered showers. And that's it tonight, but don't forget, it is, of course, all change on Monday. We'll still be here with your HTV News as usual, but a brand new earlier time, that's at 6 o'clock. Trevor MacDonald will follow us with ITV's early evening news at 6:30. So to be first with all the news from the West and indeed around the world, stay with us here on HTV.
But for now, though, have a very good weekend.
Very good night. If you've got a story you think we may be interested in, the HTV News hotline is open for your calls on 0845 606 5325, or you could email us.
HTV's Garden Calendar is back with a new series, presented by Sue King with gardeners Felicity and Alan Down. And they'll be joined by expert troubleshooters Nick Ray and Mary Payne. So if you want some top tips or advice, don't miss Garden Calendar. A new series Monday at 5:30, followed by HTV News at the new time of 6 o'clock.
What makes new Fairy dishwasher tablets so different? That blue tablet inside the white one. Think of it as your personal pre-washer upper.
Find yourself pre-washing or soaking first? Now I do that for you, in the machine.
While normal tablets don't do much till the water heats up, new Fairy starts cleaning straight away. No other tablet tackles the tough stuff so effectively.
So thanks to me, all your dishes come out sparkling clean. Now that's shiny.
New Fairy Tab in Tab puts the pre-clean into your machine.
You know where to find me.
So you want a new PC. You want free, easy internet access just by plugging into your phone line. You want all the kit, including a colour scanner and printer. And you want the new lightning-fast 400 megahertz Intel Celeron processor. Fine. Pick up the phone and have it your way. Call Gateway on 0800 389 0800, and for £1,225, we'll deliver a Gateway PC with free internet access built just for you.
I've got £16,000. You now have £32,000.
You're joking.
You have just won 125,000.
Television's Richest Quiz is back for a new series. Starting tonight at 8:30. Who wants to be a millionaire? Call this number now and you could become a contestant.
In Coronation Street in half an hour, Ian's secret assignations may not be secrets for much longer. And talking of cards...
To see you! And I'm the leader of the pack, which makes me such a lucky jack, and here they are, they're so appealing. Okay, dollies, do your dealing. Look at this. Yes, now I hope you're going to play the game at home. Play your cards right. As you see, Maxine's dealing out the red cards on the top, and Charlie's dealing out the blue cards on the bottom. We have our cards. All we need now are our players. Let's go! good, good. Now, you are Joyce and Lyndon Woodward. And you're from Bristol, and you're both retired. That's it. Good, lovely, lovely. Any interesting family connections have you got, Joyce?
Yes, my mum's uncle invented the penny in the slot ladies' toilet. You know, they put the penny in the slot.
Oh, yeah, when we used to put the penny in the... He invented that?
Yes.
Was that your Uncle Lou? Now, any dislikes have you got, Lyndon?
Yes, the way the English people pinch our footballers. Like Michael Owen, the Welshman.
How do you know he's Welsh?
He was born in, I think it was Howden.
Just a bit, well, look, I tell you what, he's half English, okay?
Yeah.
And we've got the half that kicks. So don't you start with me. Oh, really? Now, you are Jeannie and Pete Dawes, yes, from Telford. I see. I know that for 21 years you've looked after your handicapped son, Julian, which is a full-time job for you both, but you certainly have had your lighter moments. How long have you been a teddy boy?
42 years.
42 years? How many of those suits have you got?
25, Bruce.
25?
25
And who
Bruce.
makes them?
Jeannie does.
Because I never got a chance to wear one of those jackets.
Would you like a chance, Bruce?
You've got one with you?
We've got one with us for you.
Marvellous. Let me try that on me. I've always wanted to try the teddy boy suit. There we are. Oh, that's great. Now, you must remember the teddy boy walk. That walk was famous. With a bit of music, what about the creep? Remember the creep? Da-dee-dee-dee-dee. Go on, away. This is how they did it, the teddy boys. Great fun. It took me back a few years, I tell you that. Well, now, did you cut the cards? Did you see them cut the cards? Yes. Right, now, the idea of the game is this. We want you to work your way across the board by predicting whether each of these cards is higher or lower than the preceding one. The first one to turn over the last card correctly will win the game, and a Brucey bonus. All of the questions are based on a poll of 100 people. You won the toss, Lyndon and Joyce, so you're going to lead us off, but good luck to you all, and thank you for being here. Here we go. We asked 100 married men in their 30s. If you came home with a love bite, do you think you could convince your wife that there was an innocent explanation? How many married men in their 30s said yes, if they came home with a love bite, they did think they could convince their wife that there was an innocent explanation? I think it would be fairly high myself. I think it would be, 57.
I don't know. I mean, a ferret might have crawled up their leg and bit them on the neck.
What an understanding lady. So, what do you think?
I would say about 31.
31? Have you gone along with that? I think you've got to.
32.
Oh, 32. All right, 32. Well, now, they think 32. What about you? Do you think Pete will be able to convince you?
No, don't let him out on his own.
Not with a jacket like that. I didn't... So what do you think? You think it's higher or lower than 32?
Higher.
Higher than 32. All right, the actual number who did think they could convince her is... That is amazing. 32. You have won a case of champagne for being right on the nose. And on top of that, you're going to start us off now. Let's see what your base card is. A 6. You can change it if you like. Change the card for a 9. It's not a bad card, but what do you think? You've got to go on now. Lower than a 9, you say? Giving you, Pete and Jean, a free go. Here's your base card. It's a jack. Lower than a jack, you say a 7.
Can we freeze?
Freeze. They're going to freeze, protect their cards. All right then, Pete and Jeannie, you to answer the next question first. We asked 100 prison officers. Generally speaking, is a spell in prison more likely to make someone a better person or a better criminal? How many prison officers said a spell in prison was more likely to make someone a better criminal.
They're in the place that we come from, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you've got to put a figure to that now.
56.
56.
56, you think? 56. Right, Lyndon and Joyce, what do you think?
I would say much higher, much higher.
You think higher than
Yes,
that?
I would definitely, yes, higher.
All right then, the actual number who did say it was more likely to make someone a better criminal is 68, yes, quite a bit higher. Yeah, because they were sick of porridge. Anyway, now you can get rid of that 9 if you want to.
Yes, please.
Get rid of the 9 and you've got to call them.
Lower.
King, you say a 2.
Higher.
The 2, you say a 7. Please protect your cards. Okay then, yes. It did look a bit nasty, that, and Lyndon and Joyce, you to answer first. We asked 100 lavatory attendants. Do you have any regulars that you'd miss if they took their custom elsewhere? Very serious question. How many lavatory attendants said yes, they did have regulars who they'd miss if they took their custom elsewhere?
Well, I should think there was
Well,
some...
you've got to remember, Bruce, that's their bread and butter.
Well, thanks for reminding me, Lyndon. Okay, so what do you think?
I would say about 55.
Yeah, 55?
54.
54. Right, okay, now what do you think about the question? They have regulars they'd miss.
Higher.
You definitely think higher.
Yeah.
Okay, the actual number who did have regulars, who were regular, that they'd miss, is 50. Very good in the first place. Not right to go higher. What a good guess that was. You can now get rid of the 7.
Yes, please.
You're in control all the time there. It is a 9.
Let's go higher, is it?
Higher.
Higher than a 9, you say. Lower. 0, dear. Are you going for the game?
You can see it or go lower.
Higher or lower?
Lower?
Higher or lower?
What we go?
Going lower.
Lower, is it?
And this is for the first game lower than a 10. Well done. You've won a Brucey bonus, and there it is. Read it out nice and clear, Lyndon, because you've got a nice, bold voice. What is it?
You've won a weekend in the Icelandic capital city of Reykjavik.
But don't be disheartened. There's another Brucey bonus ready and waiting for you if you win the next game, right? And I believe it's you, the second game. We've got the cards there, and Pete and Jeannie, you to answer first. We asked 100 nuns. Do you think it would be a good idea if Bruce Forsyth took a vow of silence? Thank you very much. How many nuns said yes, they did think it would be a good idea if Bruce Forsyth took a vow of silence?
40.
40.
You think 40? Okay.
Wait a minute. It's just decided. What do you think?
Well, make up your mind.
42.
42. Put 42 in there. Now, how many nuns said yes, they did think it would be a good idea if I shut my mouth?
Higher.
No, it wouldn't be higher. They wouldn't be able to see you, would they? You,
Wait a minute.
you wouldn't be on the box. They couldn't see you, could they? Did they watch
What do you
it?
mean? Well, of course they watch me.
But no, I
I get letters from nuns every week.
No, if you had a vow
It's
of
just a
silence,
habit. What?
If you took a vow of silence, they wouldn't be to hear you, would they? That was for their pleasure. They couldn't see you on the box then.
Oh, isn't she nice? What a nice lady.
So what do we do?
Lower.
So what do you think definitely lower than 42?
Yeah.
You think so? She's definitely made up her mind. What do you think? Who cares? The actual number who did think it would be a good idea is... Oh! Yeah! There you are. Totally right. Well, you've won another question. You're off again, Lyndon and Joyce. You've got a 9. You can change it. Change the 9 for an 8. Lower than an ace, you say a 5. Higher than a 5, you say a king. Lower than a king, you say a king. You don't get anything for a pair. Bad luck giving you, Pete and Jeannie, at last. You've got a chance to do something. A base card, it's a 10. Okay? Okay, lower than a 10. Oh!